Who is the observer? You look at those trees, a field full of cows or sheep. You see the horizon lit up by morning sun. How do you observe all that? If you ever do. When you look at a tree or a house, your very perception looking is blocked by the word you use, right? You understand? I can look at a Frenchman and say, oh, he's a Frenchman. That means I have all my prejudices, all my knowledge of the French comes in between me and observing a man who calls himself French, right? So can I look at him without all the prejudices, antagonism? Can you? So the observer is the past, right? Are you following this? So the observer is full of his past knowledge. Whether that knowledge is absurd, silly, or actual, that knowledge is blocking my observation, right? Are we following this? Now, to observe my relationship with my wife or husband, I must observe without any previous accumulated incidents, knowledge, all that. Is that possible? You understand my question? Otherwise, I never see my wife for the first time. You understand? I'm always looking at her with all the memories of 1,000 days. Now, is that a fact that I'm looking at another from the past knowledge, and therefore it is a living thing can never be observed with with a limited knowledge, and knowledge is always limited. You understand? A living thing must be observed freely, without all the accumulated experiences, knowledge. So is it possible for me to look at my wife or the husband or the girlfriend, whatever you like, without the previous remembrances? Have you ever tried? Have you ever tried to look at a tree without the word tree? Look at a flower without the label, so that you are actually observing what actually is, in which there is no subjective reactions. You're following all this? Are you? Yeah. Or is all this Greek? Or Chinese, better still? You see, our brain is a network of words. network of remembrances. It's never free to look. Because it has been conditioned through identification. To us, identity is very important. I am Hindu. Whatever that silly word may be. But that gives me a sense of assurance, a sense of security. I have roots in there. Like you, the British, like the French, German, the rest of the world. And can we look, observe, without any identity? You understand? Are you doing it now? Or are you going to try and do it when you go home? If when you are listening to this and doing it now, perhaps you are sitting next to your wife or husband. If you do it now, the very action of perception is to destroy that division. Right? If you do it now, which means action is not of time. Now follow this. Am I talking this? Look, sir, I've heard this. I've paid attention to what I've heard. And I'm sitting next to my wife. I'm a serious person. And I hope she is too. And I see that I am not looking at her freely, without any past incidents and all the rest of it. And to me it's important to have a relationship with her or with him in which there is no conflict. Because if I can live that way, I have peace in my heart and my brain. So the very moment I hear this, the actual perception that I am in conflict and I'm looking at her or him with all the accumulated memories which are all dead anyhow. And so I'm looking at her.